Hey, we're back for part 4, super strategy. So let's talk about what Dave is going to do, what Dave is doing, what I've been up to, and how we're going to countervail the damages from the kleptocrats. Number one is we're going to create awareness. We're going to create awareness. I'm going to continue to make these presentations on YouTube with my channel, which is the Dave Campbell Shorts channel, and the Uncle Speaks channel, which is the Chris Ellis channel. That's my nephew. We're going to continue to support the 3 websites through these 2 YouTube channels, and we're going to probably do some more social media. But the 3 websites are the Cash Initiative, the MII-KE model, and the Regeneration model. So you might think, well, that's a lot of busy work, Dave. Why don't you just do one? Well, because this is a huge project. Kleptocracy is a global problem. And so what we need to do is make a global awareness campaign and a global strategy to combat it. So how did I figure out that I needed 3 different websites? Well, I broke down the problem in terms of knowledge. Knowledge and the use of knowledge. Well, that's interesting, Dave. How do we use knowledge? Okay, well, I'm glad you asked. 3 primary ways we use knowledge as humans is commercially, and second way is governance, and the third way is academia. Well, Dave, we use knowledge in a lot more ways than that. Well, maybe. But I've categorized commercial as anything we use to take care of our physical needs. Governance knowledge is our regulatory concerns as a society, whether it's business or commerce. And then finally, academia is the processes and systems that we have in place and those that we're developing in our institutions, whether that is religious or academic, true academics like college. And then you can even think of a library or a library at your workplace as academia. Somewhere where the hard books are stored and those systems are recorded and they're highly valued. So those 3 sources of knowledge and their applications are how I broke up and synthesized this strategy. Well, that's awfully heady, Dave. That's kind of an intellectualizing of the problem. Okay, yeah, it is. What does that look like on your websites? Well, the commercial website is going to be, there's 2 of the websites that are going to impact the commercial. All 3 of them intertwined, but the first one, the Michigan Innovation Intermediary and Knowledge Exchange, that is directed at high-ticket industrial investment. So I have a business strategy for that took me 3 years to build and develop. It's called the MII-KE model, Michigan Innovation Intermediary and Knowledge Exchange. And that model is it kind of mirrors an innovation intermediary, but it's not just an intermediary where you hand off one part of the business process. For example, there's intermediaries that do just finance. This one does project development. And the projects begin with a lead user prototype of a high dollar component where you have a company that's having a difficulty finding a market or developing a market and putting the pieces of the puzzle together. What Mike will do is find all of the different elements. First the market, then the co-development team, the project team, the corporate venture capital, and we then put together the co-pilot agreements, the pilot program agreements, and what we end up with is a 3 to 5 year proof of concept that cost a fraction of what the typical 95% failure rate of our in-house corporation innovation investments end up as. They end up as loss. Okay, you could do the research yourself. I did it, and very thoroughly. And 90 to 95% of innovation investment at the corporate level fails. It's billions of dollars. So MII-KE model breaks down all the different aspects of what happened, why those investments fail, and we take the entire process from A to Z. We act as a intermediary, and we are not hanging on to the final product. We're just doing the service. So we'll end up doing, a couple projects at first, and then we'll end up with 10 or 15, then we'll end up with, more. When you get good at something, you get more business. So that's the MII-KE model. That's for high dollar industrial investment. So a manufacturing plant. And those are all going to be built in the U.S. The ones that are done in the U.S. will be built in the U.S. And that's where we're going to start, is right here in Michigan. So that's why it's called Michigan Innovation. All right, so that's the overview of the first one. The first website is going to discuss that. It's going to open up the doors to a new type of business innovation intermediary. And that's specifically aimed at high dollar investment. The Cash Initiative is the second website, probably the first one I'll complete and start getting out there because I've already announced it. But the Cash Initiative is a community-based project development initiative where any person in the community can form a group. And to form the group, you go online. I have a website model all set up for this. I don't have my website up yet, but I have the model done. The person can designate what type of a project they want to start, whether it's business or bill writing, and then all of the resources that they would need to begin the process of a new type of project, be it a product or a bill. Everything will be available on the website. When I say everything is available, I'm talking about processes. I'm talking about them being able to find resources. Everything from, how a bill is written to who's already working on this bill, and what are the practical steps of going through to write a bill, and how long does this take? And it does take a long time to get a bill passed. But opening that up to every community in the United States, and it's not government run, it's simply available for the common citizen to initiate a project in bill writing. Let's say they have a concern about human trafficking. They go to the website, they locate other projects that are going on all around the United States, and they can check into their website and see what they're doing, check into their project and see what they're doing, and then they can start their own in their own community. They can either join one that's already ongoing, or they can start their own. So bill writing is one. There's going to be a myriad of topics that I'm concerned with that'll be available for people to choose. Opioid addiction, like I said, human trafficking, stock bills like revising or eliminating the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, any type of concern, privacy issues, anything. The people in any community, any person can go ahead and begin to get directly involved in their government. Okay, the next part of the cash initiative is project development for commercial aspect. If you have an idea to build an amphitheater, or if you have an idea to start a ballet class or yoga class, or if you want to start an aggregate plant, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have an idea, you can go to the website. All of the resources for starting a business will be there. You're not going to get directed to SCORE and have to set up a meeting with somebody who isn't in touch with, today's processes. No, you're going to be able to see what other people are doing all over the country on this website. Everybody can participate. We're not going to divulge your company's secrets or anything like that. What you're doing is going to be available for everybody to see, and getting that momentum started so people will get out of their houses and start getting, business started, connecting to angel investors, connecting to investment dollars that are available, and leveraging the knowledge of the other companies that are already started in other parts of the country. That's what we're looking at. It's a spark. It's getting people going and saying, "Hey, I can do this." So that's the cash initiative. The final one is the regeneration model, and that's my brilliant discovery. Okay, and that is basically the core discovery of how all things work. There's a 4-step process. I'm going to talk about it at length in another video, but that is a discovery that helps people understand why human value is so important, why the human mind is the source of knowledge, why people must be nurtured, why business and commercial efforts and government efforts, everything must be directed to human nurture. Everything must be directed toward human nurture. So it's a phenomenal way to say that if you're a kleptocrat, you're an idiot. If you're a superpower, you're a society builder. Okay, we're going to eventually eradicate kleptocracy. We're going to drive them back into secrecy for one, but we're going to beat them back with peaceful and legal project development. Those are my 3 spearheads. That's how we're doing it. I invite you to come along. I invite you to get busy and help me out. If you're an investor, you want to call me, 231-360-8704. Take care.